Hello everyone, welcome back to Isaac Games. I'm Isaac here with a Smite God breakdown. The goal of these videos is to give you a basic understanding of how these gods work and to showcase their abilities. I'm not a pro, so I can't tell you how best to play them, but I think I'm pretty decent with this first god here. One of my personal favorites, Cupid. He's a hunter or a carry or an ADC, whatever you'd like to call him. He does physical damage, and he's usually pretty squishy, but can output quite a bit of damage towards the late game. So to start off, his first ability here is called Heart Bomb, and just like your basic attacks, it flies forward and does an initial burst of damage along with doing damage at the end of the attack. So to show an example here, you'll see that it did initial damage that was higher than your basic attack, and then did a bit more damage when it exploded. You'll also have noticed that there was a ring around the god, and that signifies that anything, enemy gods or minions within that ring will be affected by the explosion damage at the end of the ability. The second one here is called Share the Love. Pretty self-explanatory. You shoot out these little hearts, and if you or an allied god pick up these hearts, it will heal you and them. The added bonus is that when a allied god picks up the hearts, you actually gain mana back instead of health. So you can actually have pretty good sustain with this ability, because if an allied god picks up all three of these hearts, you gain back more mana than it costed you to actually use the ability. So it's a great way to help stay in lane. The third ability, called Flutter, it creates this carpet, which when you or allied gods walk on it, you get added movement speed, of course, with the initial dash in the beginning. So it's a great for engage. I use it a lot to disengage from fights and to get away when I'm low health and can't stay. And the last ability here, Fields of Love. You'll see this giant area of effect here. When you shoot it down, anybody inside this circle is going to be affected by the stun and an initial damage when the ability does go off. So that is great for team fights. That's basically the times you'll use it. I do use it to get away sometimes, but mostly it's an engage ultimate ability where you start off with that and then the rest of your team comes in to help as well. One of the most important things about gods, which I think a lot of people forget, is their passive abilities. And with Cupid, his is essential to playing him. So you'll notice here when I'm using these basic attacks, you have those little red hearts above the god icon that are filling up to a maximum of 8. Each one of those hearts, when it's glowing, adds an additional 2% damage to your basic attacks, as well as 2% healing for things for like your hearts that you share off to yourself and to your allied gods. The thing with this is that your 1 ability and your 4 ability is going to consume these hearts when used, and the difference being when you use your 1, so you'll see here it's all basically the same, except that it also adds a stun effect to the god. So you'll notice here, if I were to use my Heart Bomb ability without full stacks, when it goes off, it doesn't stun him, he just continues moving. So it's essential that when you use this ability on enemy gods, you really try and have your stacks all the way up so that when the explosion goes off, they are stunned and you can get some extra hits in while they can't do anything. Your 4 ability will also consume these hearts, and it just does more initial damage and stuns them for just a tiny bit longer. So it's definitely an advantage to make sure that you're using your passive and that these hearts are filled up constantly, because even just your base damage, if you're not using your abilities, is a bit higher, a maximum of 16% higher when those hearts are completely filled up. One of the ways I like to use these hearts, and Heart Bomb in general, is when they're filled up and they automatically do the stun. If you are to kill a minion or, an enemy god, if it just happens to kill them, that burst will immediately go off instead of having to wait. So you'll notice here, if I were to use it and not kill a minion, it wouldn't go off. You'd have to have that 2-second cooldown, versus if I just kill it, it automatically goes off. So I like to use that, especially late game, just immediately killing a minion and stunning everything within that radius. It's a good way to surprise your enemies so that they don't have that countdown. So overall, Cupid's a great engager with his ultimate ability. He's kind of squirrely. He's small, so he's hard to hit, and he's usually pretty fast, and he hits pretty hard. So overall, a fantastic god. I play him all the time, and he's one of my favorites. So I hope this helped you guys out, helps you understand the god a bit more. Here's more in-depth information here if you want to take time to read it here on this video or on your own in-game. And other than that, good luck in your matches. Go win some Conquest.